The attack on Pearl Harbor was a turning point for the Japanese people living in America. With an extensive concern that the Japanese were spying on the United States, President Franklin D. Roosevelt issued Executive Order 9066. The order indicated that all the Japanese people living on the West Coast were to be sent to an internment camp where the government could keep a close eye on them. My grandmother, Yoneko Tsurusaki, was 18 when she was pulled out of high school, forced to sell her belongings, be absent from her graduation, and ordered to live in a horse stall with her family for more than 2 years. Unfortunately, Yoneko was only one of more than 110,000 innocent victims that were sent to relocation camps during World War II. My grandmother's story of her experience living in the internment camps and dealing with segregation in America during World War II is one of great dignity. The Japanese Americans held an incredible sense of respect while dealing with all the hatred against them after the attack on Pearl Harbor. When it comes to theories of violent or nonviolent tactics being used during difficult situations, the Japanese Americans have proven that nonviolence is a key to creating eternal peace and harmony.
Hello, class. I'm Yoneko Tsurusaki, and I'm 89 years old. We were interned in May for all the Japanese to evacuate from the coast. Therefore, my family and they were looking for traitors and spies.
The most unfortunate reality of the Japanese being sent to the internment camps is that more than 2/3 of them were American citizens. They had nothing to do with the attack on Pearl Harbor, and they were not spies for the Imperial Japanese Navy. They simply had the face of the enemy, so they were being punished for it. Only few stood up for themselves at this time of segregation. These few men became known as the No-No Boys. When forced into the internment camps, the Japanese Americans were asked if they would serve in the armed forces of the United States. In other words, as the United States government was accusing the Japanese Americans of opposing this country, they were also asking them if they would stand up for this country. Several Japanese men who were born in America felt betrayed. When they were asked to fight and stand up for America, they answered no. Because they answered no to these questions, they were believed to be greater potential enemies.
There was a lot of boys that were called into the army but didn't want to go because they were American citizens. And there was a couple of them that really spoke up for all the Japanese Americans. There was 2 fellows I remember.
Even though the No-No Boys were the only people to fight back for their rights as citizens, they were not well liked by the Japanese community. They thought of the No-No Boys as disloyal and accused them for giving America the idea that Japanese Americans were not patriotic. Like previously stated, the Japanese Americans did not want to be resentful towards the American government. There's a famous quote that many Japanese Americans lived by during their period of internment. This quote, "Shikata Ganai," or "it cannot be helped," refers to the fact that the Japanese people were being put into the internment camps and there was nothing they could do about it. They did not want to fight it and they did not want to resent the government. They simply went along with the situation because they knew it was beyond their control.
I don't know too many Japanese that's violent. When you're going to violence, you get hurt or you might get killed. Just talking and discussing the matter might help more. No, I don't think violence would help.